ततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. Let us resume our discussion on Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual discourses with his intimate devotees at his residence in Dakshineshwar temple premises on a Sunday afternoon dated 26th October 1884. It appears in the 13th chapter of the first volume of the original Bengali presentation, Sri Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, 113.3, under chapter 101 in the second volume of the Hindi translation, Sri Ramakrishna Vachanamrit, and under chapter 33 of the English rendering, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Let us recapitulate the salient points discussed in our Sunday class 2 weeks from before, because last week he didn't meet on the occasion of Ratha Yatra festival here. So we have seen that Sri Ramakrishna was discussing some of the very important and salient aspects of our spiritual life. How to realize God. We are all aspiring to realize God in this very life, for which Sri Ramakrishna, in reply to a question, has emphatically said that the realization of God is dependent on His grace alone. Bhagavan Labh कृपा लब्ध है, साधन लब्ध नहीं है. By our own effort, we cannot realize God. He has told it at the very beginning for a purpose. Because one of the main obstacles for God realization is our inbuilt ego. This ego is self-created. We inflate our ego and we can deflate our ego. It's not dependent on anybody else. God has given this ego to us to use as per our choice. If we inflate our ego, which is very natural as we make progress, we must remember that we are going away from God. The more is the ego, farther we are away from God. And the vice versa, less the ego, we are nearer to God. So you have to be very careful, have a vigil, that at no point of time the ego becomes inflated. Now the warning is, ego comes in various ways. As soon as we excel, we progress, we grow, there is a natural tendency that it increases our ego, one-to-one relation. Unless we take a control. We, as an example, we find that in order to improve our health, we take nutritional food. It's good for the health, for our growth. But we have to take care it doesn't increase our body weight. So you have to take such diet so that our body becomes under regulated weight. That's the terminology of dieting. Some control has to be imposed because obesity is bad for health. Similarly, inflated ego is bad for spiritual life. So normally we find whenever we progress, we earn more, we learn more, we get more recognition, wider friend circle, everything adds for the inflation of ego, as every calorie we take tends to add the body weight unless it is tied down with extra effort, with physical exercise. For that, some exercise is necessary to deflate the ego. The body and mind are interrelated. So we have to understand ego comes in various ways. If we are very particular and we think that we are instruments in the hand of God, and whatever we are gathering, we are gaining in terms of money, in terms of education, in terms of recognition, in terms of position, power, it all belongs to God. So by this attitude, we can curb our ego. But the most important and dangerous form of ego is the ego of spiritual excellence. There are अहंकार, धन की अहंकार है, विद्या की अहंकार है, संपत्ति की अहंकार होती है, लेकिन साधन का अहंकार बहुत खतरनाक है. When we are little more particular in our spiritual life, we are sitting more number of hours with God, repeating more number of God's name compared to before or compared to others. It's a natural tendency that we feel we are superior. The superiority complex is most dangerous. Ahankar, Shankaracharya says, Ahankaram surapanam Gauravam Ghororavam Pratishta Shukari Vishta Tasmat Etattam Trajet. Ahankar is not only inflating our ego, but it is a form of an intoxicant like wine. Wine one way is to be rejected because it intoxicates us. Secondly, it induces to an attachment of taking more and more wine. We become a victim of this bad habit. So once a person is gathering ego, then it snowballs. It goes on increasing without his or her knowledge. That's why at the very outset Sri Ramakrishna says, know for certain that how much ever you may try to intensify your spiritual practice, that will fall short of the requirement. This was depicted very beautifully in the Bhagavatam, the life of Sri Krishna, so that the devotees can understand the secret of God's play. Sri Krishna was a small boy and he was very naughty. So the people complained to his mother Jashoda, we are fed up with this child, we must keep a control. So Ma Jashoda, on hearing all the complaints of the neighbors, she decided to tie him down. She brought a piece of rope and tried to bind him down. Now, as she tried to tie the boy, she found that the rope is little shorter to be able to tie him completely. उनको तो लपेट लेते थे लेकिन उसको बांध नहीं सका. Then she brought a bigger rope. Again she found the bigger rope is falling short to tie him down. So she went on increasing the length of the rope and the same result continued. Finally she gave up. She could realize God cannot be tied with a rope. By hard effort, she could not tie Sri Krishna, could not bind him down. And seeing her plight, finally she resigned. And seeing her resignation, Bhagavan condensed himself, and then she could be under bondage. Similarly, we are trying to bind the unlimited down to our limited domain of mind and thought. But God is greater than we can imagine. So if we think that we will be able to tie him down, we are wrong. We cannot do it. So that thought, that idea, that principle should be kept alive at the back of our mind to curb our ego down. We must know for certain that whatever we may do, ultimately it depends on God's grace. God's grace is there, but that grace cannot be made effective unless we have this resignation. So there are two things we have to understand: kripa or vakulta, grace and longing. They are complementary to each other. When we have grace of God, then we develop longing, and more we feel longing for God, more we are able to realize His grace. So they go hand in hand. So when Sri Ramakrishna said that realization of God is dependent on grace alone, he also added, that does not mean that you will sit idle and wait for the grace. Grace is ever flowing. कृपा बहमान है. उनको इस्तेमाल करने के लिए कुछ कर्म करना चाहिए. You have to do some work. You have to have some effort to match with the ever-flowing grace of God. We must have some contribution. It's not that we don't have anything to do, knowing fully well that this is not responsible for whatever will happen. It's only our preparation, our effort, our endeavor to register that we are interested, we are eager. That eagerness, that vakulta, that longing has to be manifested through our effort. Kuch karna chahiye. That was the discussion. Now the question was, next the question started, by what kind of work can one realize God? It is resolved. Some work has to be done, however small. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahoto bhara. We did not worry how much we are doing, but even little effort is necessary. However infinitesimal it may be, some effort has to be done. The question is, what effort to be implemented. वही प्रश्न पूछा, by what kind of work God can be realized? Very pointed question. किस कर्म से हम उन्हें प्राप्त कर सकते हैं? इस सबका मन में प्रश्न है. Whatever work we are doing, we most of the time we feel that since we have been engaged in this work for years together, for days together, it is not becoming so effective. Perhaps change of work will make a better environment. Why don't we change the profession? Why don't we change the work? Perhaps there is something wrong in the nature of work we are doing. It's a very common problem in our life. मैं जो कर रहा हूँ या मैं जो कर रही हूँ वो शायद भगवान लाभ के लिए, भगवान प्राप्ति के लिए उचित नहीं है. दूसरा कुछ some different nature, different type of work may be conducive. To that Sri Ramakrishna gives a point blank answer. It is not that God can be realized by this work and not by that. The nature of work is not responsible for God realization. Whatever you are doing, there is no differentiation. It doesn't depend. Nature of work is not responsible. God realization is not dependent on what type of work you are doing, where you are, how long you are doing. The most important thing is this, your attitude for doing the work. किस मनोभाव से आप कर्म कर रहे हैं? क्या कर्म कर रहे हैं भगवान नहीं देखते हैं. भगवान देखें ना कौन कहाँ है, कौन क्या कर्म कर रहा है. There is no work which is small or great for him. Every work is equal. Whatever anybody is doing at any corner of the world, apparently may be very simple work or maybe complicated work. It doesn't matter. All that matters is the attitude. कैसे कर्म किया जाता है. That is important. Now what makes the difference? How can we change our way of work to make it more effective? What is lacking then? When God is accepting any form of work, then what is missing which will please God? That missing link is our longing of the heart, Vyakulta. That's what is missing in our work. A man must work a little with longing for God in his heart. Bhagavan here are very clear. It's not the magnitude of work, quantum of work, number of hours we put in the work. We usually think if we work more, longer hours, with more effort, God will be pleased. वो सीधा बता रहे हैं, व्याकुल होकर कुछ कर्म करते रहना चाहिए. विकलता के रहने पर ही उनकी कृपा होती है. मिसिंग लिंक इज विकलता, व्याकुलता, longing, earnestness. Longing for what? We all have longing in our heart, but the longing is perverted. We have longing. It's not that we do not have longing. व्याकुलता तो है, लेकिन भगवान के लिए व्याकुलता नहीं है और सबके लिए व्याकुलता है. Someone is having व्याकुलता for the health of his or her family members, for acquiring more wealth, more position, passing an examination, being successful in an interview. For that we have sufficient longing. But that is not what indicated here. We must have goal orientation. What are we after? We are after realization of God. Do we have the longing for realization of God? We are working. Whatever work we are doing, that is our sadhana. That has to be registered in our mind. It's not that the couple of hours we spend in the shrine or the temple. That is our spiritual life. And the rest of the time is all bogus. Our entire effort, entire time, entire endeavor is oriented towards God realization. So whatever we do, either in the shrine or outside, everything should be done with singular, single-pointed longing for realization of God. Then only the secular and sacred becomes one. No difference. Nothing is secular, nothing is sacred. Everything is sacred. Oriental life is holistic. All we want to realize God, whatever we are doing. Jat jat karma karoti shambho tat tat eva aradhanam. Whatever I do, O Lord, Shambho, that is my upasana, that is my aradhana, that is my worship. So work and worship merges together. If it is done with the longing of heart towards the earmarked goal. Goal orientation is necessary. Longing is there, work is being continued, but the longing is misdirected. যায় যেন মোর সকল ভালোবাসা প্রভু তোমার কানে, যায় যেন মোর সকল গভীর আশা প্রভু তোমার কানে. My entire love, entire hope is directed to you and you alone. Unfortunately, our love, our hope is directed to somewhere else. Accordingly, we are misdirected. We have to reorient ourselves towards the single-pointed goal, realization of God. For that, we should continue to do whatever we are doing. No reason to change our action. God knows where we are to be placed, what we have to do. That has been earmarked. We need not have any correction in the design of God. The correction is necessary to change our attitude, thinking that it is the design of God and I have to make it as perfect as possible to please Him. Ishwar pritarthe karma karna chahiye. I have no other purpose, neither do I want anything in this world. All I am doing is to please Him so that I may develop love for Him. अगर कृपा करके दर्शन देते हैं अच्छा है, नहीं भी दर्शन देते अच्छा है, लेकिन प्रभु मैं आपका सेवा के लिए कर्म करते रहें. Whatever energy, whatever strength, whatever power, whatever you have given, let me utilize that and give it back to you. It's giving back. Ganga Jale Ganga Puja. Bhagavan has given us strength, our buddhi, our intellect, our resources to be put it back to Him with this longing. Then only it will work. So with this he says that this Vyakulta is the principal spice in our spiritual life. Without it, it will never work. Without salt, the preparation becomes distasteful, unsuccessful. So without this element of Vyakulta, our life will be a waste. That Sri Ramakrishna is saying. First was to annihilate the ego. Second was to add this Vyakulta in our endeavor. Now, when we have longing, what happens? Then to our dismay we find that strange consequences are coming. Sri Ramakrishna says that realization of God is apparently an impossible task. That all our scriptures say. Sri Ramakrishna also admits that when we think, analyze with our reasoning, we find that we are too insignificant to achieve this feat. So in a spiritual life, there is a constant conflict between the head and the heart. This has to be remembered. Constant conflict. बराबर का विरोध है हृदय और मस्तिष्क में. Why this conflict? When we analyze, we think deeply, take a pause and think deeply. We know ourselves, our limitations. I know the job order, what has to be done. And we know the history also. It's not that we are the first person to make an attempt. It's not a debut, novel attempt. So many people have tried, and we know the result. That requires the effort of multiple births. जन्म जन्मांतर का तपस चाहिए भगवान के लिए. वो प्रेम, पवित्रता, भक्ति, ज्ञान वो कहाँ है? The type of quality of life, when we read the lives of saints and seers, on the one way we feel encouraged that a human being could attain to such excellence. On the other, we feel discouraged that what we are when we compare. These people realize God with such an excellence of their character and a contrast. We are nothing. So this is the indication given by our intellect, our buddhi, our mind, our reasoning. That is good that you are trying to realize God, but John, you are incapable to do it. When you compare. But then there is a difficulty. Our heart is not prepared to accept this reasoning. There is a difficulty. Though the reasoning, when you think, is fine, but the core of the heart, there is still an expectation, a longing. Still then I wish. Still then I cannot live up, I cannot give up this hope. I cannot set it aside thinking that I cannot have it. It may be apparently impossible, but still I would like to have it. I cannot give up this hope. This hope haunts us, expectation haunts us. That is a call from the core of the heart when there is an warning from the top of the brain. This is the conflict. So the sadhaka, Ram Prasad says in a song, beautifully summarizing this episode of our life. Prasad bhashe loke hashe সন্তরণে সিন্ধু গমন আমার মন বুঝেছে প্রাণ বোঝে না ধরবে শশী হয়ে বামন. Actually this song was প্রাণ বুঝেছে মন বোঝে না, but Thakur corrected it. No, it should be মন বুঝেছে প্রাণ বোঝে না ধরবে শশী হয়ে বামন. অর্থাৎ প্রসাদ, রাম প্রসাদ ভাষে मतलब he is speaking, भाषण दे रहा है. Not floating, he is speaking भाषे, but the other people are laughing, हंस रहा है. क्यों? संतरण ने सिंधु गमन, तैर करके समुद्र पार करने चाहते हो? कभी संभव है? भगवत प्राप्ति करना इस जीवन में as if to cross the ocean by swimming alone. You can go by a ship, by a vessel, but not by swimming. It's not possible. But we still want to do that. Realization of God is as impossible as crossing an ocean by swimming. So people are laughing. And another example he says, Dhodbe Shoshi Hoye Baman. Shoshi is a moon. One dwarf, not only a person of a normal height, a dwarf, Baman, he is smaller than the normal people, and still he wants to touch the moon. Where is moon and where we are? So this is acceptable. Mon bujheche. Our mind accepts it. Pran bojhana. The heart does not accept it. What to do? This is the condition of the spiritual aspirants. that when they evaluate, then they find this realization will come only when we have made some effort. Till you have tried, you will not understand then how insignificant is your attempt. More a person is learned, more he knows how ignorant he is. Learning increases our realization of the depth of our ignorance. Sir Isaac Newton is saying, Isaac Newton, the discoverer of the law of gravitation, the father of physics, that I am only collecting pebbles in the shore of the ocean of knowledge. I have not been able to make a swimming or dive or even touch the water. Such is the humility. When a person has made an attempt, then only the person will know that it is not possible for him. So when it is not possible for him, and still he has an deep expectation, then how this problem can be resolved? We come to this question now. We know that it is not possible. How the impossible can be made possible? Sri Ramakrishna says, because when you try to realize God, it's not alone that you make an attempt. There should be some consequences. Some events must happen together. Then only this act is possible. And these events are very, very difficult happenings, coincidences to happen. जैसे क्या बताया? First, God realization is not possible just by single effort. Some combination of events must happen. He's narrating. First, there should be sadhu sang, company of the holy. Now, it's very difficult in our life. In modern days, it's much more difficult how to find a holy person. A holy person is he. By seeing him or her, you have a spontaneous yearning for God. They are not readily available in the market. You can go and meet. So this is a rare consequence. Then you require vivek, discrimination. By some act or other, sometimes we are able to meet saintly people, but it does not infuse any vivek or discrimination in us. We definitely meet good people, but it does not increase our power of discrimination. We must generate vivek. Sri Ramakrishna says that vivek is necessary. Then you must have the grace of the Guru, Sadguru love, company of the holy, which generates discrimination. Discrimination means that power to discriminate between the real and the unreal. Analyze what is truth, what is false, what is permanent, what is transitory. Sat, which is eternal, Asat, which is false, which is transient. The two things in this world. One is eternal, constant, another is transient. Most of the time, we take the transient as eternal, and we hold on to it, and we are to be fooled. A discriminating person, he knows what is permanent, what is impermanent. So he catches hold of the permanent and avoids the impermanent. We are not able to do it because we do not have the power of discrimination. We do not know how to analyze. So that comes out of satsang. And when we are convinced what is real, what is unreal, then we have a grace of Guru Kripa. So these are also rare consequences in our life. This doesn't happen in the life of all people. Many people are deprived of these consequences. किसी को सत्संग नहीं मिला, मिलने पर भी विवेक नहीं हुआ, विवेक मिलने पर भी सद्गुरु लाभ नहीं हुआ, सद्गुरु लाभ के बाद साधन भजन करना चाहिए, व्याकुलता होना चाहिए, ये सब नाना प्रकार का संयोजन होना चाहिए, संगठन होना चाहिए, जोड़पाट होना चाहिए. They must be tied together. Then only the ultimate thing happens. And these happenings, each of the happening is rare. And this cumulative consequences of all the happenings is the most rare thing. That is apparently impossible. That's what being said. So when you think that these consequences are necessary, then we are convinced it is not possible, which is true. Thakur is saying it is true. But then he says that God has the power to make impossible possible. That conviction must dawn in our mind. That is the beginning of our spiritual life, this faith in the power of God. It may be impossible for us, but nothing is impossible for God. That idea must be brought in our mind from the very beginning. Nothing is impossible. It may be impossible for you, for us, for mundane people, but not for God. If God wills, God can make things happen. So he gave an example which we discussed, which is apparently, it sounds fantastic, kabhi nahi ho sakta hai. So he gives this example to drive this point, which sounds to be impossible, actually happened. He gives a story to make this point clear that likewise impossible things can happen in the life of any spiritual aspirant and lead him to the final goal. So the incident was that a person was very much distressed because his near and dear one is having a very serious disease. किसी के घर में सख्त बीमारी थी, अब तब हो रहा था. The doctors gave final verdict that this person may not live for long. So there is no chance for his survival. He tried all medical channels and the channel was closed. So it is an impossible thing. According to the medical science, it is not possible to revive the patient. But even then it was possible. If God wants, it can be done. That's the indication. Do not think that the worldly channels are the only channels possible. There is a spiritual channel also available. That so that has to also tapped. Now, someone told him that these are the things necessary. If you can make all these things happen, then the person will survive. Now, what is the job order? The job order is the remedy has been said like this. First, it must rain when the star Swati is in the ascent. Now, we are having rains. Now, when the स्वाति नक्षत्र का बरसात की पानी होगा, this first condition. First of all, he says there is a remedy. We have to watch all these steps. Yes, there is a remedy. Number one. What are the steps? Prescription. First, you must wait for a shower at an appointed time, Swati Nakshatra. Now, when Swati Nakshatra will come is very difficult. It doesn't fall all the time. It's a rare occurrence. But it happens, sometimes it happens. Then, what is to be done? Then, it's not only that it will happen in the rain, it must be collected in a human skull. स्वाति नक्षत्र का पानी बरसात कोई मुर्दे की खोपड़ी में गिरना चाहिए. सेकेंड कंडीशन. और उस समय थर्ड कंडीशन है एक सांप मेढक का पीछे कर वहां पर पहुंचेंगे. देन थर्ड consequence is there must be a snake chasing a frog in that place. Then a frog must come there and a snake must chase it. वहां पर एक मेढक आना चाहिए और मेढक को पीछा करते हुए एक सांप भी आना चाहिए. Third condition. Then not only that, and as the frog is about to be bitten by the snake, it must jump away and the poison of the snake must drop into the skull. Now, जब मेढक भागने के लिए प्रयास करेंगे तब सांप उसको काटने के लिए जब उस पार उछल कर चले जाए उस सांप का विष उसी खोपड़ी में गिर जाए. In trying to bite the snake, its poison instead of falling on the frog, it will fall on that skull where this rainwater is collected. So this combination is necessary. The स्वाति नक्षत्र का बरसात का पानी और मेढक का पकड़ते हुए एक सांप का विष. Now normally if you think it's a fantastic, it's all a story. It is not possible. Now उसी विष की दवा यदि बनाई जाए और वो दवा अगर मरीज को दी जाए तो वो बच सकता है. Now this is the prescription. It cannot be available in a drug store. Nowhere it is possible, and the consequences are fantastic. Now, what is to be done in this condition? Most of the people, when they hear this, they think it is bogus, they will stop their effort. They will not be able to achieve the goal. So first thing is that in this condition, how the person became successful. That is the point to be considered. That even under such fantastic conditions, this person was able to prepare that medicine and survive, revive that patient. Patient was survived, revive the patient. How did he do? These steps are most important for spiritual aspirants. First is the head of the family consulted the almanac about the star and set out at the right moment. First is the conviction. He didn't think it is impossible. He thought, by the grace of God, this will be possible. This is the beginning of our spiritual life. We must believe, be convinced that we will achieve the goal. And thinking that with that conviction, we should set out, make a beginning, not just sit idle. जब ग्रेस आएंगे, पहले ये व्यक्ति चुपचाप बैठ नहीं गए. Though he was discouraged by all the doctors, but he had a belief, a hope. That hope must be there. Most of us think it is not possible for us. Then it will not come. First, step is to have belief, faith in the strength of God's power. He can make impossible possible. Though it is impossible for us at the moment, but it will be possible provided God wants. So for that we have to set out. And as per the prescription, whatever has been said, whatever way we have been prescribed, every one of us has some methods been prescribed by the monks, by our guru, by our holy company, by the scriptures. We should not simply try whatever we want. What he did, he consulted the almanac. We should consult the way of our spiritual life. We know what is to be done. When to rise, how many times to repeat God's name, to have to visit temple. So all these prescriptions should be implemented with a belief and make a beginning. With great longing of heart, he began to search for the different ingredients. This is what needed. क्या करना चाहिए? With great longing, व्याकुल होकर, विकल होकर, जो चीज बोला गया था, उसको तलाश करना चाहिए. It has been said, we need sadhu sang, we need big, we need guru kripa. These are the missing things. These are the consequences. You have only one item required, vyakulta, longing. And you see to your dismay that one after another the things will come. That's what happened here. He prayed to God, "O Lord, I shall succeed only if you bring together all the ingredients." This constant prayer should be there. Prarthana. प्रार्थना का दिया कभी बुझना नहीं चाहिए. प्रार्थना की आलोक शिखा बराबर देदीप्यमान रहना चाहिए. Always it should be ever blinding. प्रार्थना with longing. हे प्रभु, आपका कृपा से ये सब हो जाएगा. मुझे इस जीवन में ही भगवत दर्शन करना ही चाहिए. इसके लिए जो कुछ जरूरत है वो आप कृपा करके बंदोबस्त कर दीजिए. That's what we can do. We cannot find a snake or a frog. That's not our job. We are not required to do that also. Unnecessarily we are trying to accumulate those things. That is not necessary. What is necessary? Intense longing and prayer, knowing for our fully well this is not possible in our strength to make happen. आप कभी जाके कोई सांप को खींच के नहीं ला सकते हैं, उसका बीज नहीं गिरा सकते हैं, but भगवान can do it. In order to do that, all necessary, whatever is necessary for us is the longing prayer. That he did. And then what happened? As he was roaming about, he actually saw a skull lying in the ground. Presently there came a shower of rain. Then the man exclaimed, "O gracious Lord, I have got the rainwater under Swati and the skull too. What is more, some of the rain has fallen into the skull. Now be kind enough to bring together the other ingredients." Now the God realization is a dynamic process. You have to understand why our progress is choked. Because we have a longing for realization of God and we patiently wait for God realization. That's all we are doing. So it is a static process. We have a beginning and we have an end. And we always compare that I wanted to realize God and I have not been able to realize God, so we feel discouraged. Spiritual life is distasteful, discouraging for most of us, because we are all comparing our goal and our end. But here you find it is a dynamic process. He has not been able to reach the goal, but in between the shorter goals are being achieved. It's like doing the research. Those of you who are aware of the research. In research thesis, there are several chapters. First chapter is the definition of the problem. And the findings of the result thesis will be at the last chapter. but in between there are several chapters. They add up together to make the final chapter. There cannot be only 2 chapters in a thesis, the problem and the finding. After the problem, second chapter is the literature survey, whatever has been done. Then there will be proposal for experimentation, reasoning. Fourth, the experimentation is done. Fifth, the results have been evaluated, tabulated, that I have made this experiment, these results have been obtained. Then the analysis of the result. And finally, on the analysis of the result, this is your finding. So constant feedback and analysis is necessary to make the final result of the thesis. Similarly, in our spiritual life, first chapter is the identification of the problem and the goal setting. This is what I want to achieve. This problem has to be solved. This is my aim. I have a problem in this life. I want eternal peace. I want eternal joy. Whatever I have got, that is not satiating or satisfying. So my problem is to fulfill my desire. My problem is how to love God, how to achieve contentment in life forever. That is the problem, how to do it. So then accordingly we follow this process. And as and when we do the research, we make some experiment, we get some positive results. So that adds to our, gets an impetus, an inspiration, an acceleration to our search. Search is not a static process, it's a dynamic process. So similarly, when the person is one after another, the happenings are coming, he is feeling encouraged. Similarly, we should be encouraged and thankful to God. How many of us are making the thanksgiving to God? Always we हम शिकायत करते हैं, हे प्रभु आपको दर्शन करने के लिए हम प्रार्थना किया, अभी तक हुआ नहीं. अरे भाई क्या हुआ उसको तो जांच करो. Something has happened. Why don't you review? Why don't you take a feedback? When you are traveling to the mountain, you have started from the foot of the mountain and your goal is at the top. We always look up and see how much distance to be covered. Why don't you look down and see that where you started and where you are now? How did you go there? By the grace of God. When the grace of God is with you, taking you to the present height, then will it leave you? It will also take you to the height, to the remaining distance. So that sort of feedback and thanksgiving is necessary. That is a part of our spiritual life. That has to be added to add joy in our spiritual journey. Spiritual journey is not a morose, a dreadful attempt. It's a dynamic joy of experience. When you are prayerful, when you are thinking, longing for the goal, then God's help comes. It has come to all of us. How are you? How else you are here? So many people are doing so many things. How else you are here unless there was the grace of God? You have tried and God's grace has descended on you, and if you are thankful to God, that is necessary. We must acknowledge what we have received, be thankful so that more grace can come. When we are thankful, that will infuse our longing to a greater extent, and that will effect greater inflow of grace. Grace is there. We will be able to make more grace effective in our life to this dynamic, positive attitude. It's a positive attitude is necessary. No negative attitude will be entertained here. This is what we have to understand from this story, that though you are impossible, one after another, the impossible happenings are coming. So you must have the conviction, yes, baki bhi aa jayenge. That's what actually happened. Please make the other things happen. He was reflecting with a yearning heart. Vyakulta kabhi chhodna nahi chahiye. He was reflecting yearning heart when he saw a poisonous snake approaching. His joy knew no bounds. That Vyakulta must be combined with joy as you see the consequences. He became so excited that he could feel the thumping of his own heart. That sort of feeling should come. that God has almost arrived. Be prepared to receive Him. That sort of thumping should come. Yes, it is imminent. I'll be able to do it. Have belief, conviction, and feel joyful. Oh God, he prayed, now the snake has come to, I have procured most of the ingredients. Itna tak ho gaya. Please be gracious and give me the remaining ones. Baki bhi kar dijiye. No sooner did he pray thus than a frog hopped up. The snake pursued it. As they came near the skull and the snake was about to bite the frog jumped over the skull and the snake's poison fell into it. The man began to dance, clapping his hands for joy. So I say that one gets everything through yearning. So this impossible thing happened by the grace of God, but that didn't happen without these intermediary procedures from the part of the aspirant. So first it began with conviction. We must believe. The prescription is given that we must have Vyakulta. With that we must proceed. Make a beginning, humble beginning. At the same time have a continuous prayer with longing of the heart and wait for the consequences. There should be review, constant feedback. कहाँ थे, कहाँ पर आए हैं. इतना तक अगर आ गया मतलब it gives a proof. साबूत दे रहे हैं, भगवान आपको साबूत दे रहे हैं, मैं तुम्हारा साथ हूँ. नहीं तो कैसे हो रहा है? It doesn't come on an accident. God's help is manifested to the growth of our life. Everyone is growing. The growth is a proof, a demonstration, illustration of God's help. So if God is helping, we should be thankful and we should feel encouraged to strive further with more longing, more joy. And then gradually we'll find that everything else is coming true and finally we are at the feet of God. We continue further in our next interaction, which will be 3 weeks from now. Because next week we have Guru Purnima and the following week we have a spiritual retreat. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampadhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidyam tam Rama Krishnam sirasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu. So we meet again on 23rd of July. Now we close today with the chanting of the Lord. Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om. Ram Krishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om. Ram Krishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om Ram Krishna, Hari Om. Ram Krishna Hari Om. Hari Om Ram Krishna Hari Om Ram Krishna Hari Om Ram Krishna Hari Om. Hari Om Ram Krishna Hari Om Ram Krishna Hari Om Ram Krishna Hari Om. Hari Om Ram Krishna Hari Om Ram Krishna Hari Om Ram Krishna Hari Om. Announcements. On 4th of July, Tuesday, we will have Ram Nam Sankirtan.